Rev up your race car with Two Speed Motorsports, one of our new premier partners of the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. This business is based right here in Ontario, and Two Speed Motorsports is your go-to for custom manufacturing, race car maintenance, fabrication, welding, and racing parts and maintenance. Specializing in setup and R&D, they are also the home of Raptor filters, which are specifically designed for racing. Two Speed Motorsports offers a wide range of products available, including tire carts, gear pots, body braces, jack stands, caddies, and more. Two Speed Motorsports has everything you need to keep your racing ride in top condition. Visit www.twospeedmotorsports.com for a full catalog of their high-quality products. Time to freshen up your racing look for 2025. We'll look no further than our partner, Epic Racewear. They specialize in custom race suits, tents, flags, marketing materials, crew shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, apparel of all sorts. Epic Racewear is just that. Epic. They're top quality products. They're designed by top quality designers. Proud supporters of our podcast, Epic Racewear is going to offer all S&S racers a special 10% discount off all racewear until the end of 2025. Visit epicracewear.ca for more information and to take advantage of this exclusive offer. Race in style, race with confidence. Choose Epic Racewear for all your racing needs. Look, feel, be epic.
Stickers and scuffs, we ride. Interviewing drivers side by side. From the pits to winning strides. Stickers and scuffs, our racing guide. Hear the roar and feel the speed. Every driver chasing dreams. From the green flag to the win. Side by side, from the pits to winning strides. Stickers and scuffs, our racing guide. Engines roaring, crowds alive, Ontario pride by the mile. Lap by lap on the move, catch the thrill in every groove.
Good day, everybody. Cam K, Graydon Bunn, and Thomas Wunsch here for the final episode of the Stickers and Scuffs podcast for 2024, brought to you by our good friends Epic Racewear and Two Speed Motorsports. We had to bring on the guy who, yes, we did throw you under the bus a little bit last week. I don't know, you probably heard that. Finished second a couple of times to Mat Hopkins. Thomas Wunsch, got to meet you at ACC finally, and you finished second in the championship in the Hot Rod division. Man, what a great season. In your own words, man, how'd it go for you?
It was pretty good. It had a lot of lows to it near the beginning, but it turned around coming to the end. We got a couple of wins at Varney. We never quite got the feature win or a heat win in OSCAAR, but next year I'm hoping for.
That's nice. Hey, you threw out right there. It was tough. It got better, and we got plans for next year, Grade, and that's what we want to hear right off the bat.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I didn't get to chat with you much this season. It was always go for both of us, but
right.
I got to watch you race and running the Varney Hot Rods, especially. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you go on tour and race at these other tracks, places like where you cut your teeth, namely Grand Bend, Varney, really teach you how to drive in traffic and also race in tight quarters in general, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, all the tracks, they're all very different. They all teach you very different skills on how to drive them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're crazy different. And,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah,
how did it start for you, Thomas? As Graydon alluded to a little bit, Grand Bend and Varney, but obviously you don't just start out in hot rods. So how
right.
did you how'd your career start out?
It started like with my dad racing, and then for the first, he only got to race for a couple of years. I kind of wish he got to race more, but uh, in 2019, a friend of mine or a friend of ours, he built a car for me that I could run at Varney in the kid stock class.
Right.
So we ran that in 2019 and 2020, and that kid stock class, man, it was good. Like every driver that I raced in the kid stocks have now moved on into like V8 rear wheel drive cars. So that class really taught us all a lot. And then after that, in 2020 to 2021, I got into mini stock, and that was so much fun. And I still had the kid stock at the time, but once I was in the mini, I didn't really want to go back to the other one. So then we just kept it, and then we got to race it in 2021. We somehow ended up with the championship, a couple of wins. Then in next year came around 2022. We may have had a plans to travel or do an outlaw schedule or something. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly, but we did the first night, and then we came out after that first weekend the point leader. So it's like, oh, might as well come back next week. And then we ended up getting our second mini stock championship. And then after that, I was really, really gonna look forward to like traveling around other tracks.
Mhm.
But then we ended up getting hot rod, and then we stayed at Varney again for now a few more years.
Now,
So you're getting to know the place pretty well
yeah, I
then.
was gonna say it's like the back of your hand now, eh?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a lot more laps at Varney than I do anywhere else. Everywhere else I'm going, it's like my first time there. Every single track, it's like, oh, it's my first time here, but Varney is the track where I have all my laps set at.
It's got to be a little bit comforting when you do get to do your races there. But it's interesting because when you
As
join, kind
comfortable
of,
as Varney can be, that's for sure.
yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. When you did go into doing the hot rods, they weren't, I think, taking off at the local tracks compared to say Oscar at the time. I mean, at that point, you only had a couple of hot rods that were there week in and week out. But as of last year, I mean, it does seem to be like it is on the rise across all of Ontario, and you have a lot of great
Mhm.
competition. Let's speak to some of those names that you have to race each and every. So you have to race each and every week.
Yeah.
You got definitely, obviously, the champion Mat Hopkins, and somebody who I feel is right around your same level out there. Mr. Brian Wilson Jr. is out there. Brian Wilson Sr. comes out there as well. And um, who else are people that you get to race against in your hot rod division? We know Nathan Detweiler and the Studebaker. He has some fun out there in that little number 70 car.
Yeah, for sure. Another big one is Travis Farrell.
Mhm.
He's always been fast, but then the last like 4 weeks of the year, he kicked it on to another level, and then he was the guy that was really the car to beat.
Nice.
And Travis Farrow, very similar kind of to you. He kind of does the outlaw schedule a little bit, joins the OSCAAR guys. When you decided you guys were going to go and do OSCAAR on top of Varney, what was the first thing that you thought of?
Oh, I our plans were our plans were to just do another Varney season. And
Oh,
then
okay.
the talk was if we were gonna register for Oscar or not for like the three races you could register for or the whole season. And then we ended up just, registering for the season. And then we just started out 1 week at a time. And then we ended up running to the point where we ran every single Oscar and Varney race we could.
And you came home P7 in the final standings for the
Not
year too.
bad.
Yeah.
You satisfied with that? Given what you just described your season was going to be and how it turned out.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm very
Pretty
happy
awesome,
with that
man.
because
Yeah.
when you think about it, everywhere I was at this year was my first time. So
Yeah.
that in that way, I'm kind of proud. But we did have some bad luck, which
Mhm.
if we didn't have that, we could have been even higher up in the standings. But I mean, learning.
Well,
Yeah, that's
and
pretty awesome.
that's the thing is, I think we've said this before, and what's really great when we have hot rod racers on here is you guys kind of have the best of the best in the hot rod division. You have some very young racers, hi Nala. You have some very great racers, but you have a lot of great veterans,
Hmm.
huge veteran names out there. And this year especially, you have your regulars of Steve Book and Rob Bromley and um, Kodiak Tyler Hahn, but you also had some two guys out there who, man, they looked like young kids at times. Kenny McNichol and Steve McCaw to learn from. So who did you find that you could lean on in the Oscar hot rod division, and who's somebody that you want to beat? Obviously, I think everybody, but
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it yourself. But really, everybody really. I mean, so like Tyler Hahn, for example, like I kind of grew up watching the Hot Rod series and watched him always be in first place. So I mean, that's kind of he set the bar. That's kind of the guy to beat.
Hmm.
As long as I mean, along with everybody else is still out there, and it's like I'm like fighting my best to stay in the top 10. It's a very stiff competition out there.
Yeah, like Cam said, it's a cross section of like young guns, veteran talent, and it's kind of cool that you can cut your teeth in on a touring division with that kind of eye candy too. Like everybody's loving the hot rods these days with all the different models and pickup trucks and stuff in there. So talk about your car a little bit.
So my car is a 1962 Chevy 2, similar to a Nova,
Yeah.
and I really like it. I mean, we're gonna put a few more straight panels on it this over
Yeah.
the winter, and then we're gonna be good to go. And then yeah, I really like it. I don't think I'm gonna change it anytime soon. I really like it actually.
Yeah.
it's one of those things that I'm very curious about is what's the chassis?
So the chassis was it's an old Chuck Lawler like late model. So yeah, it was a just a race car chassis that was built by Chuck Lawler and Dan Lawler.
Mhm.
And so and then it was in their hands for a while. Then it ended up going to like the Aldersons, and then that's who we bought it from.
Okay. Okay. Now I know. All right. Okay, that's good. That's a good competition. Now. That's a good car too. Um, Learning obviously on the road is a little bit different than learning at your home track. Home track, everything's kind of familiar. It's similar. You got a couple of different tracks that you went to for the first time. Obviously, you were part of the Autumn Colors Classic as well. This year's where we got to see you and involved in that. I don't even know what we got. The big scuffle out in three and four. That was lots of fun for us as fans to watch. I was up in the tower when that happened, and needless to say, we were entertained. Talk about the experience about traveling, and how it affects you on a race day because you're not in a familiar situation.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. It teaches me a whole lot
Mhm.
as a driver and right racing everybody. And I've tried a lot of different tracks from the dirt to like the big long straightaways at Delaware. And then, but it was tough because doing the two series, it was like we would do an Oscar race, and then it's like, okay, now we can relax and plan for the next Oscar race. But it's like, no, as soon as we're done that, we have to like get ready, put our Varney setup back in the car, and it was a whole lot of work. This was like the most effort we've put into a racing season yet.
Yeah, you just hit on it too, going to the dirt run in Brighton too. Like, do you have a notebook for that, or was that just kind of like going by what other people have told you, or do you like how do you set up a car for somewhere new like that?
I mean, for me, I don't really I don't know. My team, we don't exactly know. We just, asked a lot of other people that have ran
Yep.
right before, like set up and what gear to run. So like, but even going to anywhere else, as I was saying, we've only really run Varney. So my team, we're
Mhm.
good. We're good set up for Varney, and then when we go to anywhere else, we don't get the greatest setup, but we go and we try our best, right? So now that we've been everywhere, and me as a driver, I've been everywhere.
Mhm.
My team has learned for the setup. So next year when we go back, hopefully we'll be even better yet.
Definitely. And when you go and you experience these tracks the first time, I've got to know then, Thomas, which was the one that you felt the most comfortable at, aside from Varney. These are all brand new tracks. So which is the one that you were like, oh, I like this place?
Uh a lot of them, all of them
Oh,
really.
really, eh?
But I think
Okay.
Sobel, I think.
Somebody
Sobel
right
is,
beside me tends to like that place a lot too. What
But
is
I
it
I
about
get what
really,
you're
Sobel?
saying totally though. Like any laps are good laps when you're out there, man.
oh yeah, I think Sobel is my most experienced track other than Varney, obviously.
Hmm.
But when I say most experience, I've done 3 races there.
Right.
So, but, but like, yeah, I mean, that was where I got my highest and best run in
Mhm.
Oscar was at Sobel. I was kind of disappointed it got rain canceled in the later part of the year, but it happens. But yeah,
It's one of those things we love to hear because there's everybody can say that they love their home track the most, but that's an easy answer, right? We know that you love your home track. Obviously, you wouldn't race there if you didn't. And then getting to experience something else, and the fact that you've kind of gone into running the hot rod division, I obviously know you've mentioned the plan about being back for Oscar. Are you going to do both again, or are you going to stick to running more or less the Oscar races?
so now that's something I'm not totally for sure on.
Hmm.
But one thing that we are definitely settled on is another season of Oscar. So that is my main focus. We're gonna do another round of Oscar, and then we maybe will go to other tracks, go to a sunset night, go to Delaware, do a V8 race,
Yeah.
and then once it like Varney, it's like I'm not. There's no way I can go a season without going to Varney. So I'm going to be there a bunch this year. It could end up being a few times or a whole other season again. But
There's definitely a lot of options there, Thomas, because you said you can do a V8. You can do, I think you can actually do a United 8 at
Hmm.
Sobel even with the hot rod. You can run the hot rod division at Varney. You can run the division at Sunset. I think the only place the only two places is Flamborough and Peterborough. In Peterborough, they have the hot rod race for ACC.
Okay.
Flamborough has Frostfest. So essentially, you can run. I think the only place maybe is Grand Bend, and it that hopefully they'll get availability to do that in the future. But it's one of those things that we like to see. Now you're a young racer. You're a young lad that I was really surprised how young you were. What is the age that you've been running the hot rods in?
I started out as 12 years old, and then I mean my birthday is right in the middle of the summer, so 20. I mean I started hot rods in 2023. I was 12 and 13, and then this year I was 13 and 14.
Unbelievable. This is the funny thing, Graydon, as I look at this and go like Ollie Ferguson goes out there, he's 14, and
Oh
he
yeah.
goes and he wins the
I know my
OSS
youngest son's
at
14.
Sauble, and then you got Thomas running second in the championship, wins a ton of races and battles with Matty Hopkins right towards the end. I
That's
gotta wonder
super cool.
how that was, man. You were so close battling for that championship with him. Obviously, he got it in the end, but man, it must have felt amazing getting out there and running with a guy of his caliber.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's another guy that teaches me a lot. Like following him, and he has a great team, nice family, and it's great racing with him. So
It's you've done a lot in a short amount of time.
I'll
So,
say.
not even 15 years old yet. Uh, do you have a future goal in racing, or are you just going to take it as it comes?
Take it as it comes, really. I mean, as much as I'd love to go to the big leagues, I mean, I'm just gonna take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
And right now, I'd love to become a contender in OSCAAR. That's what I want to be. I want to go to the track every week, and I want to be the guy. I want to be one of the guys that can be called a contender for the win every week.
I think that's a good thing for your mental focus, having goals that are meaningful and manageable goals. And that's definitely something that you can really focus on and work towards. And that's spoken like a true veteran, man. That blew my mind. I can't believe that
I
you're
mentioned this.
you
I mentioned
you're
this before, and people are like, "No, no, he's 16, 17." I'm like, I don't think so."
no, but I think that's a compliment really to
Very.
your skill set and definitely how you're carrying yourself off the track too, man. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Thank
I
you guys.
I'd like to know, you've raced obviously with a lot of people, mini stocks, and then into obviously the hot rods. Who is somebody that is going to be in this division that maybe people aren't as aware of, or somebody that you think is really underrated? Somebody that potentially could be a contender aside from yourself, because that's an obvious answer, but somebody that you can see battling for wins on potentially the championship in the future.
Uh, I mean, maybe some of the new guys that are coming into the series. Like, there's a lot of guys that are going to be now coming into the Varney spec that just are now getting into the hot rod series. So they might turn into something big. But my good friend Brian Wilson Jr. He's a guy. He's always right there with me. We For some reason we can't ever have a week away from each other. We are always right there door to door with each other, and we're kind of like magnets in a way. But
Yeah.
and like as I was like Brian Jr. is a guy that went from kid stock to mini stock and hot rod with me all in the
Oh,
same
that's cool.
time. Like we've been racing for the same amount of time. Like Brian and I, we both started in 2019 and we've gone to mini stocks and then hot rods and to now. And
It's kind of like starting school together, right? And going through
yeah,
your grades and everything, and like you kind
yeah,
of become classmates, and yeah, that's a really cool story.
yeah.
I want to give the opportunity, Thomas, for you to shout out your partners and the people that help you week to week, because as you know, it you actually do a little bit more racing than the norm, because you aren't just doing the weekly schedule, you're also doing a touring schedule as well. So definitely this is your moment to shout out those people.
Just car sponsors, Coffee Plumbing and Brent Ron Electric. They're new sponsors. They just came on this year, and I'm so thankful to have them. And Van Zandwick Farms. He's a great guy. Our shop is located at one of his farms, and he makes some pretty good chicken. I'm not gonna lie. and
Hell yeah.
and then along with Dave Schulten Flooring, he's been there since day one with me. So, and I go to school with one of his kids, and I mean it's awesome having them. And Kenworth Auto Repair, it's another guy, and then my mom and my dad, they do so much. They're the reason it happens, right? Right. My dad, like my mom, she runs all the Facebook, and she's kind of like a personal accountant for our team. And then my dad, he's my spotter, and he's the guy that gets the car to the track every week. I could not do it without him. And then my grandparents, they are big helps too. My grandpa, he will help whenever needs help. And then my grandma, she runs the YouTube channel that is
Uh-huh.
kind of
Yeah.
starting to blow up.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We didn't know actually about Mima running the channel until recently, and we might need her to take every video of every race at
Yeah, that's
Varney,
some good stuff
because
there for sure.
there's some good. It's a good point of view.
Yeah.
Really gets a good perspective actually on the degrees of banking that Varney has, which is very uh well, from a distance, it doesn't maybe look as insane as it is, but
It's hard to do it justice. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely hard to do it justice, but there you can actually see it. And, you know,
Mhm.
Thomas, we were really excited to have you as part of the SNS Racing family last year. It was an absolute honor, and to have you back again for 2025, and knowing that you're destined for great things, and we're really excited that you were willing to come on board as the final guest for 2024. But the best of luck in 2025. We'll definitely catch you at a race or two. I'm sure we will.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I still have a few more people though that
Oh,
I don't want to
oh,
forget.
Don't kick
okay.
him out yet, Cam.
So
Okay. No. We're good. We're good.
So, I mean, yeah, my grandparents, like, they go to every race. I mean, not whether they want to or not, they're there every weekend with us. And then my great friend Dwight, he's awesome. He's been there since my dad's raced, and then me. He's family at this point. And then there's our good buddy Jonathan Schwemmler. We blew up our motor sadly the very first race of the year, or like
Oh
at
no.
Flambro. So like if he didn't help us there by lending us his motor, we maybe like wouldn't have got to even have been in any points battles or finished the season.
Wow.
So like he helped us out huge. Like we didn't have a spare motor, but he lended us one. So awesome.
Yeah.
And then the good buddies at Black Rabbit Racing, they helped us out pretty big this year also. When we went to Delaware, we took a pretty big hit at Delaware, right? So, and then right then and there, we were kind of wondering if we'd even make it back out for the rest of the season. So like, I mean, after that, the car was pretty bad and I had zero motivation to fix it or race like for the rest of the season. And then my mom gave them a call, and all of a sudden the next day later they were coming to our shop to help work on the car. So, and then they helped us get back to Varney the next weekend because they just wanted to see me race out there with them. So, and then along with saving the best for last, I guess, the Stickers and Scuffs podcast.
Oh, I see. That's why he had more to say. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Thomas, it was a great time to have you on the show. I don't know if I want to make sure you're actually complete now.
I'm complete.
We definitely want to go out there and see you at the track this year. I haven't had the opportunity to see the 47T out there yet, but we'll definitely make sure. If the tracks will get the schedules out, that would be great.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, push, push. But we really appreciate you coming on, and we can't wait to see what you do next year, and hopefully have you back again, man. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. So grateful for you guys having me here tonight. Thank you.
That is Thomas Wunsch, probably going to be your 2025 OSCAAR Hot Rod champion.
Is that the early pick for 2025?
You know what? If I'm going to say now, I'll let you in on a little secret. A little secret. Tyler Hahn is going to be back.
Oh yeah.
So you're going to have to unseat the king to do it. But I think we got some fresh blood coming in, and I'm excited about this. I think OSCAAR Hot Rods are bound for a lot of fun, and a lot of fun with Thomas Wunsch Racing, and maybe we'll throw Brian Wilson Jr. in there too. Hopefully he'll come and race with you next year. Be a lot of fun. But thank you, Thomas, and have a great off season.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.